By city charter, I'm standing before you as the chief spokesman for the city of Southfield. But everything we're going to review this afternoon is, believe me, is a big team effort. It takes many people to make all of the accomplishments and the direction that we're moving possible. So I want to be sure that I recognize a whole number of people that are making everything that we're doing as we're moving forward possible. So I'm really very excited to be here and to be able to share on behalf of our team all of the things that we are working on and things that we've accomplished. So it starts with our team, and I'm going to ask our council to please stand, starting with Council President Pro Tem. I don't see our council president, but this is Charles Hicks. Part of our team, Councilman Dan Brightwell. Councilwoman Nancy Banks. Councilwoman Yolanda Haynes. Councilwoman Coretta Hogue. And also with us today is our city clerk, Janet Jackson, with that multi-million-dollar name. And Irv Lowenberg, our city treasurer. And the poor guys that have 8 bosses. Fred Zorn, our city administrator. And John McRena, our deputy city administrator. Also in the audience today, we have 2 of our county commissioners, Yolanda Charles and Lenny Taylor. And somewhere here is Robert Wittenberg, our county treasurer. Very glad to have him. And I know Dan from Economic Development is here, county somewhere. Oh, there we go. Anyhow, part of the team. How does all of this happen? So up here are our department heads. If you're a department head, please stand and be recognized. We have some shy folks in the back. I'm sorry? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We have members of the school board here. Would they stand? Thank you. And thank you for the reminder. Besides, again, part of the broader team, there are so many things that city government can't do alone. And so we have a host of nonprofit city partners that make a lot of things that, again, the city cannot do alone. And so we're very grateful. I won't read all of this, but you can see for yourself. It takes a community to come together and work together to accomplish great things for our city, our citizens, and our businesses. And then we have a whole number, we have well over 100 people that are involved in city boards and commissions. So if you are a member, again, I'm not going to read the list, but again, these bodies help guide city policy and handle events and all kinds of various functions. So to make the city go. So if you are a board or commission member, please stand. Thank you so much. So, so we're moving on. So one of the things that I really believe, if you have a challenge or a problem or an issue, you need to talk about it. You can't ignore it. You can't just, well, we shouldn't talk about this. And so we have a number of challenges in our times. And these are not challenges that are unique to the city of Southfield by any means. These are actually all things that have happened to us and many other communities across the country. So we are still experiencing the lingering effects of the Great Recession of 2008 to 2012. And we lost over $1 billion in the devaluation of our properties in Southfield. And consequently, we count on our tax base to fund city services and do the things that government needs to do. And due to the property assessment cap on Proposal A of 1994, Southfield's taxable values have not fully recovered yet. Matter of fact, it'll be probably 6 or 7 years before we get to a level that we were at in 2007. Again, because of this, the cap. And then as far as retailing, the shift from bricks and mortar to online purchasing and how the banking world has changed, it's just, isn't it about every month that we're seeing another chain, a store, closing stores or going under? And again, this has a direct impact in our community. And I read recently a very interesting statistic that the United States leads the world in square footage per person of retail space. We have over 25 square feet in this country per person of retail space. We're followed by Canada with 19 square feet of space per person. Australia, 17, and then the numbers drop drastically for European countries, where many of them are below 10%. So what happens when these stores and businesses shrink? And part of it, as we're seeing, is the overexpansion that a number of businesses went through and now are shrinking. And think what's happening in the drugstore, the pharmacy sector. And then we have the COVID pandemic. That changed our world forever. I don't know that we'll ever fully recover from the pandemic as the way things were prior. And so Southfield's a city that promoted itself as the Midwest office capital, that we had more office space than from New York to Chicago. And that was our central location, being in the population center of southeastern Michigan, our freeway network, our fiber optics, our free parking, our no income tax, all the things that we touted as why you should locate to Southfield isn't quite working for us anymore because we now have too much office space. And so what do we do with it? And so we're also seeing a new trend. It's been termed flight to excellence, where companies are relocating to other places that are a little step up for them because of more favorable leases. You know, again, to maintain these buildings, you base it on lease. So it's a factor that obviously concerns us. So. But we have to have solutions, and we're working on solutions. I'm putting this out front, but it's not all doom and gloom, as you're going to see in a moment. Our zoning, one of the things our planning commission and our planning department is getting very creative with many revisions. Another one is coming before council next week for greater flexibility of property use. We are aggressive with retention and recruitment of businesses. And as you'll see shortly, we have a number of new companies that have moved to Southfield. And then I'm a big proponent of adaptive reuse. We build buildings for one function, one purpose. Times change, technology changes, needs change. And so we have a sad history in this country of a throwaway mentality. You build obsolescence and then it goes, and it's not sustainable. We can't keep doing this. So we're working to repurpose our infrastructure, the buildings that we have, and reverse this throwaway mentality. So to point out, particularly our building, planning, engineering departments working together on new developments, new uses, changing our codes. And so, again, look at the investments, though, in the city. 2024, $180 million of new investment here. 23, $78 million. $300 million in 2022. $174 million in 2021. This one is not new, but it's really one of my favorite conversions. This used to be a Michigan National Bank. Big complex at 11 Mile and Lasher. As you know, Michigan National Bank was consumed. So what do you do with it with this space? And so this is now Sun Companies moved in, and we had to tweak the zoning a bit, and it's an assembly space and a showroom for their glamping product line. If you don't know what glamping is, it's glamour camping. Forget that pup tent and sleeping bag. Of course, Northland, we have saved the original 1954 mall. The Hudson's department store will become a boutique hotel on the upper floors. The lower floor will be a marketplace with food, dining, entertainment, home furnishings, retail, and so on. We're converting that basement with all the space down below the mall into underground parking, so we don't have surface parking. The water tower, I went too fast, but the water tower, as we speak, has been defunct for years. It's not, they haven't used it in years, but as we speak, it's being repainted, and it's a beacon. It's an advertising marketing for Northland City Center. We've had a population shift everywhere. There are, all across Metro Detroit, there are vacant schools. We don't need all of the school classrooms that we've had for years. And so what do you do with school buildings? Many of them have been well kept for a long time, and consequently, it'd be a shame to throw them away. So in Southfield, we have two projects, the John Grace Arms, which is going to start any day now, the construction. We know that we need subsidized senior housing. We have 508 units of it. We have a waiting list. We don't advertise. And so this will be adding 60 more units of subsidized senior housing. And many of the people that we serve in our nonprofit housing units are elderly. Many of them are female. They're widows, and this gives them a safe environment. These buildings have been well maintained with security, and we also layer on activities, a food program, transportation, and so on. And then we have the McKinley Place, which is now under construction. This will be 40 units. I really fought to save this building. The 1929 part of this school with its oak woodwork, its tiles, terrazzo, and a beautiful fireplace with nursery rhymes and sand painting above. Why would we throw this away? They don't build things like this anymore. So It's going to make a beautiful community room. This project I'm very excited about, and I do hope that the funding comes through for it. This is a very dilapidated vacant office building on 10 Mile Road that has been sort of an eyesore for years. And what's proposed here, because it's overparked, as much of office spaces or office buildings that were built years ago, way more parking than we need. Part of it would be retail and then apartments on the second and third floors, and then a roof deck amenities as well. So we're hoping that that happens, but it's a great idea of adaptive reuse. This one is also one of my favorites. Here you have a closed Walgreens, and so it's reused, and what's inside, all of these things that should be reused. It's I think a great synergy there. We have the former Kroger store on Greenfield vacant, and Najer Companies, and there's Fred in the corner there looking on, is now going to be three clothing stores, Five Below, Ross for Less, and Burlington Coat Factory. The Advanced Building, which many of you know on the corner of 9 Mile and Greenfield Road, has taken a whole section of the first floor and turned it into parlor suites. This is parlor 13. There's photography in there, hair, nail, all the line of beauty operators. And this is great for those independent entrepreneurs, which we wholeheartedly support. And then we have this behemoth at Northland that's been long vacant. And I'll just have to call it like it is. This property, the owner is a slumlord who doesn't live in the United States, and stuck us with this. This building was not properly secured. We had squatters, we had fires, one thing after another there. And so it finally went into receivership, and the receiver said, you've got to move this on. And so one of our partners, SF Community Development, has purchased the building out of bankruptcy. And this is a holding pattern, because we are going to transfer, or I should say SF Community Development is going to transfer this property to the new foster care for mixed-use housing, office, once funding is complete. This will house 180 units. This company is moving here from Bloomfield Hills, and will have training, public spaces, and offices in this building. So again, it's a great mixed use. And I got to take a moment why we're embracing this. The new foster care is an entity that is providing a safety net for youth who age out of the foster care system at age 18. Having been a teacher and a school administrator, I know what happens to some kids in the foster care system. And you don't want this pattern to repeat itself and repeat itself and repeat itself. So new foster care young people can live here until they get their social standing on their feet. And so it's employment and career training, educational opportunities, stable living situation, community life functioning, personal effectiveness, and well-being. This is supervised. It's not just, we're going to have a bunch of young people hanging out in a former hotel. This is a program. And so, but we want to join with new foster care in breaking that cycle. And the statistics are not good, as you can see on the screen. 1 in 4 experience incarceration. 1 in 3 experience homelessness. 2 in 5, it takes them 5 years to graduate from high school. 48% experience unemployment. 27% become pregnant. And the cycle repeats and repeats. So we're partnering, and in the audience today is Chris Yatuma. Chris. If Chris doesn't mind, there's a little backstory here, and why Chris has the passion. When he was 11 years old, his father was murdered in a store in Detroit. And he could have ended up in the foster care system. And so instead, he's turned that hand he was dealt into something else, a successful businessman. And this is a sideline for Chris. It's a passion of his. So again, supportive partners make things happen. And we have an organization called Southfield Nonprofit Neighborhood Corporation. Some of our board members are here today. And they're the ones that, because we have no employees, we have no overhead, we are able to do more, and we have no physical structure. We have a mailbox. And people ask me sometimes, is that where you live? This organization, we hire an accountant, we have an attorney, and we have a property manager. But otherwise, all of us, the 9 board members, we're all Southfield residents. We serve free of charge. It's because we care about our community. And this, the spin-off of that is that the nonprofit is funding the John Gray School with the help of Oakland County. Thank you, commissioners. The SF Community Renewal is funding McKinley. SF Community Renewal has consolidated, these were 1930s, early 1940s houses that were no garage, some of them very small. Anyhow, we've cleaned up 12 acres on Garner Street, and we will be doing missing middle housing there as well as affordable housing. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the nonprofit is supporting the hotel project. So, again, it's not doom and gloom. We know we have some issues that we need to address, but, I won't read all of this, but we have many new companies that have come in. I highlight Thundersoft here in the grand opening. Sort of ironic, we go over to Southfield Town Center where they've moved in from San Diego, and we're cutting the ribbon, and it's the coldest day of the year. And I asked them, are you sorry you moved to Southfield? And they say, no, we really want to be here. And one of the reasons they're here is because of our tech center, our tech-centered community in Lawrence Tech, and because of companies like LEAR. Thundersoft develops products for the automobile industry and other industries that are very high-tech. We're just amazed at some of the things that we saw. It's certainly beyond my computer skills. And then a real coup for us was landing Lucid Motors. This is a beautiful, beautiful car. You may know that Lucid Motors is manufactured in Arizona. Their headquarters is in the San Francisco Bay Area, but they picked Southfield, Michigan. And they picked it because, again, of companies like LEAR, the whole automotive tech center that are here. We don't have Ford, GM, or Chrysler, or Stellantis in Southfield, but we have, including LEAR, many of the auto, Eaton, Kamau, I'll leave some out, but we have many tech companies here, and they're drawn here, again, because of Lawrence Tech and the synergy of being in a place that has other auto suppliers. One of the things that people ask questions and over again, projects take a long time, especially when they're daring and they're large. And so we are very pleased to, we've been working for 5 years on the Middle Point project, the about 8.5 acres across from City Hall. And Hassan Jawad is here. Hassan, who is the visionary behind this project. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of networking, a lot to put together the financial stack to make these things happen. But Middle Point got a huge boost with a $131 million transformational brownfield. So we're going to flip to a video briefly, and I'll talk over this. As I've said, we want this project. This is part of our city center. We're trying to build a downtown. We need more people living in the city center. This project will have 577 units, and they will be a mix of housing, workforce, affordable, as well as market rate. It's a great project. Again, it will bring the density that we need in our city center. And it's 5 buildings. There's also leaving green space. I think maybe there'll be a small dog park there. Anyhow, it's right on Evergreen, we're hoping that there will either be the parking structure is proposed, but then we're looking around and we're overparked in the city center. So perhaps we can make some, Middle Point can make some agreements with adjoining properties. But this is going to be a spectacular addition to the lineup for the city of Southfield. Again, underground work is slated to begin this year, and we're expecting to see some things come out of the ground in 26. I'll stop the video there and just move on to other new investments. We have the Glassman Automotive on Telegraph Road, north of the freeway. This is the 3rd generation of Glassman family that's been here. George Glassman is a graduate of Southfield Lathrop High School. We have very hard, some of the buildings on Telegraph are really hard to get tenants for. This particular one was a building behind a building, and it's drifter vans. And I'm telling you, these things are decked out. They're mobile homes, so to speak. So we're very glad that, again, a hard-to-use space has got a new user. We're cleaning up the corner of Northwestern Highway, several aged buildings there and empty buildings with the new L Car Wash, which is, this is high-tech car wash, and it also recycles the water. And it will have electric charging stations. It'll be a great addition to that corner that sees so much traffic every day. Franklin Plaza. Some of our shopping areas get a little tired, so we're very glad that Princeton Enterprises, which moved to Southfield and is on Telegraph Road, purchased this Franklin Plaza, which is in a great location. I didn't know why the former owners were kind of letting it slip, but new roof line that looks tremendous, as well as the new parking lot and landscaping. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting there in about 10 days. Another shopping center that new owners got a new lift. This is 9 Mile, Greenfield, Plaza. Again, sometimes it takes new leadership. You get what you tolerate. And so here they've cleaned up the center. It's fully rented, fully leased out. The former Kroger store, which became an art van with vacant, and then now it's Fifth Avenue Furniture. We welcome them to Southfield. And then we have small business too. This recently, a number of us went over to congratulate and do the ribbon cutting at the Ameda Senior Care on Southfield Road. They moved here from Farmington Hills. They bought a building, redid it, set up shop. It's a great small black-owned business, and we welcome them to Southfield. Our DDA has put a big emphasis. Molly, where are you? In the back. Our DDA director has put a real emphasis on reaching out to small businesses to support them, to know that we have a DDA that cares about them. And we do a tour of small businesses, and the picture here is one in the Crossroads building, which again is a great landlord. The Crossroads building is nearly fully leased. It's just off 8 Mile, so it can be done. And again, it's in the 8 Mile Greenfield corridor. So we're meeting at Umoja Fine Arts in that building. We're getting other new investments, or Culver's Restaurant. One had a lot of trouble getting off the ground on Southfield Road, but will be opening in the months ahead. A new one is being built on Telegraph. People love Culver's, so and you see those ads on television all the time, standing out in a cornfield in Wisconsin. So Panda Express and a Savvy Sliders. It's not in the presentation, but we have again, another adaptive reuse. We had the Ponderosa Steakhouse that then became a retail center, and now it's going to be 2 young entrepreneurs are turning it into Barkside. We're really excited about this. This is, if you know what Barkside is, it's kind of a dog park where you can have a beer, a glass of wine, and the pooch can be outside playing. We don't have this in Southfield, so this will be at 11 Mile and Greenfield. They have their liquor license. You may know that a number of fast food chains, things go up and down. So Fuddruckers has had some issues. They've closed. So in Southfield, the Fuddruckers is still there, but they reinvented themselves. It's Evergreen Bar and Grill. It's wildly popular. I was in there Saturday night, and the place was jammed. We're glad for that. This is a company also that stayed strong all through the pandemic. It was a struggle whether they'd remain in business. New owners at the McDonald's on Southfield Road did a great job of rehabbing the building. We have to refresh, and we have to get property owners that believe in refreshing. Moving on, housing. This is another passion of mine. And we've talked a lot about some of the adaptive reuse, but let me tell you some of the things that are happening. The Calabac companies. We have a project at 9 Mile and Lasher. We know that we have a lot of people that want to stay in Southfield, but they don't want that big house anymore. They don't want the yard, and they don't want the stairs. So Calabac is building first floor masters, attached and detached. And this is market rate. So these units are, they're on the higher end. Northland has slow but steady progress. We've had a number of issues, but there's a new infusion of funding that's going in there, and the ground floor is leased. We're going to have a city cafe, a credit union, a coffee shop, and several other food and neighborhood services. And then vacant property on Bush Street is now under construction with market rate townhouses. And then Habitat for Humanity is one of our great partners. We've had this partnership with Habitat for 10 years. We need affordable housing. Our goal between the Southfield Nonprofit Neighborhood Corporation, SF Community Development, and the city itself, we're looking to satisfy all needs in the way of housing and deliver housing for every segment of the market. And so with Habitat, we are building affordable housing. I think the pointer works, no, maybe not. Anyhow, the center photo, this is a woman-built home. We've had, I know the power of women. So anyhow, we have several women-build home projects or rehab projects through Habitat. And here we're breaking ground 2 weeks ago for another duplex. And again, this is creative zoning on the part of our planning commission, planning department. We have some large lots in Southfield. Why put a single family home on them? Put greater density. And I have been there with the key turning ceremonies. These people, it's their first home. It's been their dream to own a home. And through Habitat, they get the skills to maintain the home and afford to live in it. This is really, really important. I mean, some of these folks, you know, the joy of finally having their own place. And they have to qualify for a mortgage. Again, with Habitat, it's a hand up, not a handout. Then we're building some transitional housing, Wellspring Apartments. This is tucked along the Rouge River in sort of an isolated area. And this is something that is recovery housing for people that really want to get off either alcohol or various, particularly painkillers that were prescribed. And so this housing is fully funded. It will start development shortly. And in I think, a great spot. It's supervised, it's monitored by the court, and there are all kinds of city services. If you know a family member that had addiction issues, most insurance companies give you 30 days. It doesn't work. 30 days does not work. This is long-term rehab care. And then we're doing a Veterans Village, Tunnels Towers, converting another hotel for services at 10 Mile and Northwestern. So I want to move on to public safety. We continue to recruit young people to be in our fire and police departments. We're hiring for anybody that is in the audience and knows somebody. We have a great program at Southfield High School, training high school students that when they're 18, they can go right into the fire department. They can apply. I do want to talk next about, we have new leadership in the fire department. So I'm going to ask, first of all, I'm going to ask Antonio Maciars to stand up. Our beloved chief, Johnny Menifee, retired in early March, and Antonio, we thank you for stepping up as interim chief until we completed the search. And we hired Joey Thornton. Joey, if you'd... and as our second deputy chief, Mark Jackson. Mark. Years in development behind the main headquarters on Lasher Road. We believe in investing in training for both our police officers and our firefighters and our EMS folks. So we have a great training facility. This is everything. Sometimes you look at it and go, what's going on there? But with those damaged cars. But this is about jaws of life. It's about trench collapse. It's about fires in multi-story buildings, how you combat them. And it's a stellar facility. Moving on to our police department. We have a great police department with great leadership, and I think a hallmark of our police department is community policing. We're out in the community. We're engaged with the community. We have a problem in Southfield. It's not unique to Southfield, but we have a problem with domestic violence. Way too many cases of domestic violence. And so we put that right out there up front, that we do an annual walk to publicize that this is not good, but also we engage the courts and the schools and various organizations, the Domestic Violence Group, which is here today, to bring attention to this problem and work on solutions. But our police officers are more than that. They do coffee with a cop, they read in the schools, all the holidays, whether it's Halloween, Christmas, Hanukkah, Easter, and so on. They're out there with community giveaways. Our police chief, who could not be with us today, but we're very proud of, he was selected last fall, named as one of Michigan Chronicle's Men of Excellence. And a program that we've had that had a huge class this year, the Police Citizens Academy. This is the graduation ceremony. This is a way for people to understand what our police department does and why we do the things we do, but also to see how well trained and the impact that the police force has in our community. Moving on to one other thing in the police department. When you're a policeman, and a lot of people don't want this job, but because they run to danger, they don't run away from it. And so every year we celebrate two officers, a number of officers, but two officers in particular in the detective department. So Matt Fair is Detective of the Year, not pictured, but a great officer who has really taken his life in his own hands a number of times, is William Peroni. So we congratulate both of them as Officer of the Year. And then there was a very serious incident in Lathrop Village last summer. And while Lathrop Village has its own police force, they were overwhelmed. Southfield officers responded, and Officers Chandler and Spence, by their quick action, saved the life of a young woman who was a shooting victim and bleeding profusely. They put a tourniquet on her, put her in a scout car, and took her to Providence Hospital. She's alive today because of their quick action. And we thank the VFW for recognizing them as First Responders of the Year. Moving on to other things related to policing and safety, we're a big supporter of trying to stem gun violence. There's too much of it in our society. There are too many guns. And so our council has supported the Wear Orange Day as well as Moms Demand Action. And then we have Disarmory Ministries that comes out of St. David's Church, Father Chris Yaw. This is not about taking people's guns away. It's about taking guns that people don't want. and so that they don't get in the wrong hands. So the program is on Fridays and Saturdays. It's not held at St. David's, but at Greenfield Presbyterian Church on Greenfield Road in Berkeley. You bring your weapon on a Friday or Saturday. They chop it up in front of you. It's also, the serial number is recorded. And this is supported by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Our Southfield Police Department, though, is part of this effort as it distributes gun locks. Our state senator, Jeremy Moss, in Parks and Rec does a lot with senior forums and services for seniors. And this, Dana Nessel came down and warned seniors of the latest scams that are targeting that age group. Sustainability is very important to us, so we have a sustainability action plan that will get a further boost at Monday's council meeting. We're doing a food waste elimination study. The amount of food that goes into landfills every year is staggering. Again, it's not sustainable. And so we're working right now with Lawrence Tech on dining hall vendor and the make food not waste reduction strategies. And then our efforts in sustainability have been rewarded, as you can see on the screen, a bronze award, a gold designation, and an honorable mention. More to come on this. So roads is always a big issue, and I think for the council and myself, this is one of our biggest headaches because roads, they're not well funded in Michigan. I congratulate the governor on all she's done, but most of that money goes to overpasses, it goes to major roads and freeways, it doesn't go to neighborhood streets. And when you live on a street that's deteriorating in your neighborhood, it's a constant thing, as our council and I know. So, but let me give you a look at what we've done. So lay this out. We have 246 miles of local roads in Southfield. In the past 10 years and this year, we have done 151 miles of roads. But we have 95 miles of local streets to do. And if you're on one of those 95 miles, believe me, it seems like an eternity. But also look at the magnitude of the problem. We've spent almost $330 million, and we still have 95 miles of road to do. 1 mile lane of concrete is over $1 million. This is not cheap. And we're grateful for the partnerships and the grants that we get from the state and from the state legislature. Jeremy Moss we got a grant this year for Mount Vernon, but you know, the county is partnering with us for Greenfield 12, 10-mile, Lasher, Telegraph, and Southfield Road in the last decade. So I'm not going to read all of this, but the bottom line is we are putting $14 million into neighborhoods this year, and we're doing $37.5 million in road projects citywide between the county, the Road Commission of Oakland County, and Southfield. Not pictured here. We've done in the last decade, because you just don't do roads. You got to do the understory too. We don't want to do water mains one time and then pave a road and then dig it up again. So we've done 58 miles of new water mains, some of them dating back to the 1920s when development first started here. Moving on to Parks and Rec. In the 1970s, the city residents of Southfield passed a bond issue. We built a whole number of Parks and Rec facilities. Well, it's been 50 years. Things get old. You have new needs. And so we've been investing, reinventing, renovating, and reimagining our facilities. So we had 2 golf courses. They were both losing money. And so we closed Beechwoods. And now we've invested in Evergreen Hills, and our golf course is solvent. Lasher Woods Park will have its first dog park. So it looks like this is kind of crazy. We have Barkside, and now we have we waited like 20 years for a dog park. So it's all coming at once. Again, investments in Evergreen Hills, Carpenter Lake. We had a storm that destroyed the fishing dock, but other improvements have been made there. I'll come to that in a moment. The pavilion, we're creating senior spaces, and I'm pleased to announce there's more to come, but we finally are seeing the path forward on the replacement of the swimming pool. We have earmarked money. We've had a lot of false starts on this, but we've earmarked over $22 million, and we're developing a plan. Council will have further discussions on this very soon. I'm hoping that we have the plan is a year-round facility with a lazy river. Okay, so Beechwoods. Oakland County Parks and Rec is spending millions at Beechwoods, and they're adding, as you can see, additional picnic shelter, which are very popular, children's playscape, added parking, a new entrance to the park, and year-round restrooms. They're also, they haven't started this yet, but they're going on the former greens. There'll be trails, pathways, and I like the feature they're adding here, a little bump out so you can sit down, rest, enjoy nature as you walk along. Other improvements, tennis courts were redone at Civic Center, collapsed retaining wall at Beechwoods. Losherwood Park has a new walking trail, and we'll be lighting that trail hopefully later this summer. Carpenter Lake, again through a grant that Jeremy Moss, our state senator, secured. We have a new shelter, a year-round lavatories, additional parking, and again, thanks to a state grant. And then our Boulder Garden at Carpenter Lake. There's nothing like this. This has been part of the destination. This is an outdoor geology museum. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to go. All of these huge boulders have come from someplace else. They're not native to Southfield, although the closest one came from Lake Orion via the glaciers of eons ago. But Upper Peninsula, Ontario, and it's quite a story. And you can walk among them and enjoy and learn about minerals. And again, this is through the gift of Bingham Farms attorney. The city did not pay for this. This is a $1 million gift to the city of Southfield. And I gotta add that he went to Birmingham with this, and they didn't return his phone call. So I said, come on over. So we've talked about the dog park, and it's under construction at Losherwood. There'll be 2 runs, one for large and one for small dogs. We have lots of dogs in Southfield, so pooches will have to be licensed and vaccinated, and you'll have a membership, and you'll get a fob, and we believe it'll be a big success. And then our latest project is that was just finished. We do so many events on our front lawn, and it's been a struggle because of drainage, and so now we have a promenade that we can put a stage on, we can put food trucks on, and other things. So we're really pleased with this. So moving on to, again, another passion of mine is public art and placemaking. And we started something 5 years ago. And these are, we had sort of a tired lobby. Same things were up for years. And we didn't throw anything away, but we moved things around. And so we created a gallery in the lobby, and every 3 months, every quarter, we're featuring local artists. So Currently is the Chaldean art exhibit that runs through August 31st. And I am going to ask Chairwoman of the Public Arts Commission, Dolores Flagg, please stand up. What a great partner. I met Dolores when we were both in Southfield schools. We've been friends for years, lovers of art, and Dolores is the worker behind this. She makes it happen with Art Commission members and with Phyllis Pfeiffer, Priscilla Pfeiffer. But it's a lot of work putting these shows on. And Dolores, we thank you for all your efforts. And this is 5 years strong, and we'll have something else in September. And it's a great boost for local artists. This year we've installed 2 new sculptures by Detroit's Norden brothers on 9 Mile and Beach Road. This piece is part of our 9 Mile pathway and 9 Line, and the key was brought to us by the City Center Advisory Board, purchased this for us, and it's on the corner of 10 Mile Northwestern on the campus of Oakland University, thank you, Lawrence Tech. I don't know where Oakland University came from. That was my alma mater. Our obelisk was put up last October by Hubert Massey, a wonderful Detroit accomplished artist. We were so pleased. This is our second and third Hubert Massey piece in the city. And unfortunately, a drunk driver hit it and destroyed it. And so it's back, been restored at 11 Mile and Arlington. We have, again, it's about city vibrancy, so we have a new pocket park at Civic Center Drive on the campus of Lawrence Tech. This, again, ties to the Civic Center pathway, place you can gather, meet people, rest. We continue art projects, so this piece on the left on Northwestern is by LTU students. They actually carried it over there. It was a summer project. And our Bumblebee is our latest piece of art on Northwestern Highway. It's across from the Monarch Garden that is cared for by Eaton Corporation. We're, again, sustainability. We have to do something about pollination. And so we're making a statement with both of these pieces. So we had an opportunity come along with the 8 Mile Boulevard Association and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. So working with the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, Oak Park and Southfield got together, and we did a fundraising, Let There Be Light campaign, Gateway. There's so much new development at 8 Mile and Greenfield between Oak Park, Southfield, and renewal in Detroit that we have now raised well over $100,000. Actually, we continue. And what we're trying to do here is make a statement that this had a very industrial-looking intersection. The bridge is not going away, but we're underlighting it, give it some pizzazz, tell people it's safe to be here, it's a great place to invest. We're changing the look of this shared border. And continuing on with this, again, our rapport with the city of Oak Park is wonderful. It's our next door neighbor. We have done a whole Greenfield Gateway, shared the expense of improving the median, landscaping, signage, banners. My colleague, Mary McClellan, mayor of Oak Park, has been an enthusiastic supporter of this. And then I want to talk about the 9 Line. And this, again, is a collaborative effort. This is a 36-mile pathway when it's completed. It'll go from I-75 to South Lyon, Hazel Park to South Lyon. This is supported by Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments and Oakland County Parks and Recreation. And I have to give a shout out again to Oakland County. For years, a lot of the resources that the county had went to the North Oakland, and with Dave Coulter as our county executive, South Oakland mayor, Ferndale mayor, so much more has shifted in the county. And so this is another example. And so Southfield, if you've been through Oak Park on 9 Mile, you know they've totally transformed. They're leading the charge on the 9 line, but Southfield, we're trying to catch up. And so we've completed the pathway from Telegraph to Evergreen Road. We have the funding in place for Evergreen to Greenfield, which will happen next summer. And this east-west pathway will connect with north-south pathways. So for instance, the Joe Louis Greenway, the DeQuinder Cut, the pathway on the that runs along 275 that goes to other pathways. I've always said, why should we have to get in the car to go on a hike somewhere when we live here? Let's just walk out of our house and take a walk. And so when I say these are not sidewalks we're building, these are pathways. They're 8 to 10 feet wide. We're encouraging biking, rollerblading, walking, jogging. And so, but they're not just paths. I know this is, it's a little fuzzy, but it's the best I could do to show you very quickly. We layer on things to make them complete streets and enhance the streetscape. So everything from mile markers, wayfinded signage, benches, trash cans, dog respite stations with bones and bags, and of course, public arts. So on the bottom, the green and yellow is Lasher to Evergreen that was accomplished in last year. The blue and the red is what's going to happen next year. And so we're already seeing people use the 9 line. And again, most of this is funded. The government is pushing non-motorized pathways. We want people to get out and walk, to not always jump in the car. And so we're seeing people biking and walking on our pathways. And we're headed towards at Boverick Woods Park, which is at 9 Mile, our trailhead, where we'll kick off the 9 line from there, going east or west. And again, this is TAP grants, Transportation Alternative Program, and we've been successful in getting quite a bit of funding through them. So, and then our piece de resistance on 9 Mile, we're making a statement. And this is our, the Friends of Southfield Public Arts, which has been fundraising for several years, is doing a Southfield signature sculpture. We've commissioned Sebastian, a Mexican, resides in Mexico City, internationally known sculptor, to create this piece. It'll be installed at the corner of 9 Mile Road, Northwestern. It'll be 98 feet tall. And be seen for miles. It's going to be a beacon, and we're looking for additional donors. We're well on our way. We've raised about $1.2 million for this, and we need about a couple $100,000 more. So on the way out, there's a basket. We should be collecting, passing the plate here. Anyhow. So we're very grateful to the Friends of Southfield Public Arts. A part of the proceeds of today's State of the City address will support the Sebastian Project. And we thank all of you for supporting the arts. And these are tax-deductible donations. The Friends of Southfield Public Arts is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. And as I wrap up today, I want to thank you all for being here, but first I must thank our host committee. Rochelle Freeman, where are you? And Sarah Malali, our business development, Michael Mannion, community relations, and the planning department, and Beverly and Vicki from my office. Thank you. So once again, we did something different this year. It was a dream of mine. I've been to LEAR a number of times. We're so proud to have LEAR as one of our leading corporations. And I've really wanted to have this event here, and they've been wonderful to work with and very gracious hosts. And we thank Henry Ford, Denso, Hubble, Roth and Clark, Lawrence Tech, City of Southfield, and the Chaldean Chamber, Corewell, DTE Energy, Oakland Community College, OHM Advisors, Pemar Enterprises, the Centropolis, City Center Advisory Board, Comcast, New Foster Care, and Plunkett and Clooney, Brownfield Development Authority, Downtown Development Authority, Oakland County Economic Development, and Vibe Credit Union. So with that, thank you all for being here. I hope you'll all stay. We have refreshments that partly provided by the Chaldean Chamber. And join us in the lobby for refreshments and more networking. We got the space till 5 o'clock, so be sure to stay.